as I rushed back into Barrett Tower, making a beeline for the elevator in the shaft. Once again, winching my way up the cable, going as fast as I possibly could. As I pulled myself up the cable, nearing the top floor, I began to hear yelling, furious screaming. At full speed, I broke down the winch pulling me up, letting the inertia throw me through the open doorway, landing with a roll on top of the roof. But as I scanned my surroundings, trying to make sure there wasn't going to be a surprise attack, there was only one person left on the roof. Just the guy with the pink hair, slumped over, pulling at his hair, screaming like a madman. "Damn it! God fucking damn it!" he shouted, before looking over to me. "You! This is all your fault! It's all your fault!" he screamed as a massive burst of purple energy fired in my direction, hitting me dead on. It knocked me back a pace or so, but I stayed on my feet, and then another one, and another, and another. He just kept firing, screaming like a madman. "It's all your fault! It's all your damn fault!" Before I knew it, he was running right in my direction, firing those blasts one after another, impacting my armor. I had a hard time staying steady on my feet with the impacts. I couldn't move enough to dodge when he tackled me as hard as he could, at a full sprint with his body weight behind it, tackling me back into the elevator shaft and impacting the wall directly behind the doors. We started to flail wildly, slamming back and forth as we fell down the shaft, one floor after another. Finally, I managed to catch myself on the ledge to one of the openings to the floors. I don't know which one. I managed to pull myself up on that small ledge, slamming my hands into the door and forcing them open. As I did, I saw an ominous glow in the elevator shaft. I turned around to find that one floor below me, he had also caught himself on the opposite side of the shaft. There was an immense flash of purple light, and one of those huge blasts hit me dead on. This one was much stronger than the other ones, and directly in the head. Even with the extra armor and the padding, I definitely felt that. It sent me hurtling backwards, flipping head over heels, down what I think was a hallway. I couldn't actually confirm it until I finally landed, rolling a few times and impacting a wall. As I finally steadied myself, I saw that I was in a hallway for one of the upper floors. Barrett Tower was essentially a multi-tiered finance office with headquarters for banks, stock exchange, and lots of big business affairs. So basically, I was just in a big-ass office building. And then I saw him jump through the doorway right behind me. "You son of a bitch!" he shouted at me. "Do you have any idea what you did to me? This was my chance, and you ruined it. You in that shiny-ass suit of armor just came strolling right into my life and screwed me over," he said, sending one after another of those purple bolts at me. Some of them impacted the armor dead on. Others started to seem like they weren't as accurate. They were flying to the left and right of me, just missing, like he couldn't see me or something. What the hell? As I looked down the hallway at him, I began to notice most of the blood that had accumulated from the beatdown I'd been giving him had dried up, and the wounds had healed. Pretty standard for those who have symbiotes. Super fast healing comes with the package, but as I glared down the hallway at him, I noticed his eyes were completely bloodshot, and I was even starting to see little drops of blood running from his ears. What the hell is going on? What's wrong with this guy? "Kevin," I heard Nylea's voice interject. "Remember what I told you. There are limitations to the power of any symbiote. This man is apparently breaking them by the appearance of his abilities, and say that his symbiote maximizes telepathic ability in favor of everything else, giving its wielder the ability to create telekinetic pulses of energy to attack their enemies. But just like everything else that has its limits, the more he uses it, the more strain it puts on his mind. The stronger the pulse, the stronger the demand for it, the greater the mental requirement. In other words, the reason his pulse strength is increased is because he's pouring more into it, more than he safely can, and it's starting to damage him. Okay, I thought back to Nylea. That's a good thing, right? It means he can't keep it up. Yes, Kevin. Sooner or later, he's going to teeter out. You son of a bitch, the guy in the pink hair shouted down the hallway, now starting to stumble as he took steps towards me, still firing those bolts one after another, now having a hard time hitting me, even though I was standing directly in the middle of the hallway and wasn't even moving. And yet they were firing left and right, hitting walls. This was my chance, he said, to prove I was strong enough, to prove that I could be a member. But they said I failed, that I'm too weak, and so they just fucking left me here. And now I got no fucking way out. The cops have surrounded this place. Even if I wanted to get out, there's no way I could. Barrett Tower's too high, there are no other buildings to jump to, and the ground floor is crawling with police. I may be fast, but I'm not faster than bullets, and I don't have enough power to blast my way through. Still charging one bolt after another, his ears beginning to drip more and more blood. It even started running from his mouth. He was staggering back and forth, like he was having trouble even staying on his feet, but still just kept firing. Do you have any idea what you just took away from me? He said, madly glaring at me, teeth grit, speaking even through coughing up small amounts of blood. I've never been anybody. I've never had anything. Spending my entire damn life as nothing but a footstoolie. A gopher going to fetch work, money, drugs, so that other people could sit on their asses. All for basically nothing. And here I was given this chance to climb my way out of that mediocre bullshit. And some armored douchebag destroys it, trying to play fucking hero. Screw you, he shouted. Screw you and the white horse you rode in on, you bastard. I'll kill ya. If it's the last freaking thing I ever do, I'll kill ya. Suddenly I began to notice it. At first his blasts were overpowering. I could barely move between getting hit, and every one felt like it might knock me off my feet if I wasn't braced. But now, they were getting weaker. Weaker by the second. At this point, I could barely feel like I was getting hit at all. So as he stumbled down the hallway in my direction, firing one pulse after another, I started walking right back towards him, not even flinching as the shots hit me. Screw you. Screw you, you bastard, he shouted, still firing, until he hit a point. I think that was it. His wall. The wall preventing him from doing anything else. There was a flash of purple, like he was gonna fire another beam, but it seemed to just sputter out, like it didn't actually have enough energy to fire off. And then the shots just stopped altogether as he slumped over on the ground, coughing blood onto the floor, still muttering to himself. Fucking bastard. You ruined it. You ruined everything. As I approached, standing over him, he looked up at me, still with that insane glare on his face, eyes bloodshot, coughing up blood. It's all your fault, he said, looking up at me. I glared down at him. And what? I replied. I'm supposed to feel bad that I messed up your big break? Don't make me laugh. You just murdered someone, blasted him off a roof, let him take a 55-story fall to his death, and you expect me to feel bad for you? I grabbed him by the head, lifting him up. "Go screw yourself," I shouted at him as I reeled my head back, slamming it into his as hard as I could. And with that, he went down, out cold. The only thing I felt bad about is that I didn't get to hit him anymore.